And I'm back. Sorry about that. For some reason, the Bovada connection on this table only went out. The good news is well, let's see. Yep. Yeah, so it restarted the session, unfortunately. I think we were down about $7. So we'll see if we can battle back or not. We get 3-bet pretty large here. Getting about 2-1. So it's a close call, but I'll let it go. Suited aces are all right to call with. And I was in position, I think. I'm going to put my glasses on for some reason. I don't know what if it's going to help or not. My eyes are kind of bothering me a little bit. I don't know if it's glasses related or not. We'll see. Interesting hand. Let's just check here. I don't see a lot of value in betting into 3 people on this board with this hand. I want to see what this player does. I'm probably going to fold anyway, but well, it seems a little premature to fold already. It's not a great spot. That certainly doesn't help. Okay. Oops. God, why is this so slow? Come on. So I don't know how to factor in that break. I think it was only about 3 minutes. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and like float this one. Seems like the type of board that we can take away on a later street. And then here we've got tons of outs, but I'd feel better about just going ahead and raising this because just calling again is going to potentially put us in a tough spot on the river. And raising right there on the turn looks very, very strong. And if he, if he jams over the top, we're probably way behind. If he calls, we can always hit on the river or try to. I don't think stabbing again on most rivers would be a very good idea, but if he calls there, we have outs, and it just looks much stronger raising on the river. On the turn, sorry. I'm dehydrated. Switch over and drink some water instead of energy drink. So we get called from the small blind. Overs and gut shot. I'll check back. We'll see what the small blind does here, but if he checks, it might be a decent opportunity to bet. Here, I'll just go ahead and fold. We had a lot of outs on the river, and if he checks, we can try to steal it, or even checking behind might be good sometimes. But when he goes ahead and bets again, that's probably a good sign that we're beat. aside from doing something really crazy like re-raising the river, I don't think we had a lot of options. So here's this guy with 22 bucks again, but I don't know, it'd be pretty tough to actually learn anything about him. All right, king queen again. See if this goes a little better. Just flat call here. Multi-way out of position. Terrible flop. Keep getting these just brutal flops. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't see a lot of value in going after this pot. Or, I don't know what that even means. A lot of value. I don't think it's gonna work. Man, I'm sorry. I feel like this is a very slow session, and I want it to be, you know, I want it to be fast and action packed, not slow and boring. Fold that queen 3 right away. Might not have been bad to re-raise the small blind there. I wonder if there are any strategies like just, you know, min raising in case the big blind's already checked, fold, or limping to see if it's like an instant check, or if they fold anyway after you limp the small blind. You know, some sort of a zone poker thing that would make the counter to it raising every time they do it. But I haven't seen that enough to know if that's a real thing or not. There we go. Finally won a hand. Took a while. Oh, we can fold the 9-7 too. I mean, hands like that, like, yeah, if everybody limps, there may be something to be said for limping, but it still may not be positive EV. And even if it's just like slightly better than minus 5 cents, which is what it folding is, then still may not. Sorry about that. It still may not be better than just folding and moving on to another hand. I'm not actually tired. I don't know why I'm yawning and stuff, but I do feel a little bit worn out. I think I was up pretty late last night. I don't know. I think I woke up a couple times because of the wind and stuff. Shoot. I shouldn't have folded. The king 3 is probably strong enough that you can raise, especially where I hadn't seen anybody limp or enter the pot. The queen 3, when I just folded, I had seen somebody else limp into the pot, so I knew that I wasn't just going to be able to steal the blind. Here with the queen 4, I actually want to wait. And if it folds to me, I can go ahead and raise and try to steal the blind. It did not, though. See, I guess if you check fold now, then that auto raise small blind thing would be a good idea. Which it honestly probably is. King 7's not quite good enough on the button. I know a lot of people raise those hands, but I don't think they're quite good enough for me to make a whole lot of money with them in that manner. All right, taking down some blinds. So the 10 no limit game, I actually just, because it's been so slow, I decided to glance over, and only 26% of players per flop, which is lower than the 50 NL game. The 50 NL game's at 34%, the 25 NL's at 33, and the 5 NL's at 35. Ours just bumped back up to 30%. So I guess 10 NL is the tightest game on here right now. Miss. Let's go ahead and fire a bet anyway. It's not like we don't have outs. And let's just do a half pot bet. It'll be pretty tough for him to call with anything other than jack, and we still may have outs. So I like following up there with another bet. And it worked out, so. I doubt he had a jack or a flush. It's interesting, we haven't actually 3-bet one time in 32 hands. But again, I think people are, well, wow, just went up a bunch. Now it's 38%, so I guess those numbers jump around quite a bit. Min raising may be another strategy. You know, if people have that auto fold button checked or whatnot, you know, min raising just gets people that have the auto fold button clicked to go away. But I think all that stuff sort of goes away eventually. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I think, you know, as the game evolves, you're not going to be able to go wrong with just playing, you know, correct. If you just play correctly, then you'll be all right. If this were suited, I would 3-bet it, but offsuit, no. I'd say 3-betting here, you know, button, small blind raises, things like that are definitely safe bets to open up your 3-betting range a little bit. But against middle position, early position, it's just too easy for people to fold and see another hand. Unfortunately, we're not getting a whole lot of action with our hands. This is the bottom of the opening range under the gun. If you're not comfortable playing a lot post flop, I definitely wouldn't recommend adding this one in. And check it back here to exercise a little bit of pot control. There are clubs out there, and I certainly don't want to get raised. I mean, I don't know what this is. Very strange, but I'm going to call. $1.15 bet there is really weird, but now I've got the queen outs also. I'll just check call down here. Hopefully he doesn't like do something crazy like shove. This is a really bizarre hand. I'm not really 100% sure what's going on, but this is a little bit weird. I'm sure the right play is to fold here, but I guess this is like it's got to either be a set of deuces or like nothing. I don't know. Pot odds. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm just happy we got an interesting hand. I'm not going to try to reason that out. I'm just going to say that when you've got top pair and you've got decent pot odds and you don't know anything about your opponent, probably shouldn't fold top pair. It's really okay. One thing I don't know why my eyes are bothering me so much. One thing I can say is absolutely, if you're in his spot, like great, you took a shot, you tried to bluff. When you hit your 10, bluffing that river is terrible, terrible. The one hand, that he gets me to fold is the one I had, and clearly I don't always fold that hand. So, I mean, just check back. If I was calling with some kind of draw, or I was calling down with a lower pair, when you hit the 10, just check. I think that is the worst part of that hand was that he bet the river. He should always just be checking back there when he gets lucky and hits his 10, I think.